Jnanatimandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Unmalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master has kindly opened my eyes with a shining torchlight of transcendental knowledge. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances under his lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
So, we are continuing our reading of Bhagavad Gita from chapter 10, entitled The Opulence of the Absolute. Text number 10, Gulshan's favorite verse.
10,
10. Yeah. So this is the third of the four seed verses of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, he was mentioned that love and devotion yesterday as well. It's if you do with the love and devotion, that all it matters. And then it takes, he says, sometimes love and devotion takes a little time. It doesn't have it overnight. One night you sleep and next morning you got a love and devotion. No, it'll take association and then like a little time. Slowly, it's generating in you. But it takes a time. Everything, like, slow cooking, very good taste. Nothing in rush. Like, it's not a marriage at the first sight. It's a marriage at the first sight. It'll be divorce in the second sight.
Love at first sight.
Slowly,
They say love at first
slowly
sight.
Generating there, slowly. Yeah, and even sun comes and up and sunrise and sunset slowly. Anyway,
the process is to begin. We do our duty. So out of duty, we do the service out of duty. And that sense of duty gradually develops into love, which is, what is love? It means attachment. We develop attachment and absorption, always thinking about absorbed. Like that's what mentioned in 10.9. The thoughts of my devotees dwell in me. So that's absorption. Your mind is always absorbed and thinking about Krishna. So this is the gradual development to that point. In the beginning, it's not. In the beginning, often our mind is absorbed in matter and material things. But as we learn this process of devotional service, slowly we're transferring less and less absorbed in material things and more absorbed in spiritual things, like that. So slowly that transference takes place. Absorption is already there, attachment's already there, but we have the wrong absorption, the wrong attachment. But when we develop that absorption, always thinking about and attachment to Krishna, then that becomes the love. So now we sort of love material things. People are always thinking about money, and they're attached to money, and material things, so, and of course that leads to so much frustration because material things can never make us truly happy. Someone's there, Deepa's there.
Tell him, how was the class yesterday? Ask.
Hare Krishna, Deepa.
Hare Krishna, Deepa.
Hare Krishna. Hang on, let me get me.
Yeah.
Ah, yes, you can hear me.
Yes.
I was looking to unmute. Yeah.
Gulshan was telling us you both attended a class yesterday by
yes.
Sri Sampradaya. And he was asking me to ask you, how was the class?
I told Gulshan there's no subtitles.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. So Mahabhadra and we appreciated it. We sort of we sensed the whole ambience and the whole energy of it, and we appreciated it. We didn't understand a word of what was going on.
It's okay. Spiritual vibration is purifying, whether you understand or not. So
and association with the devotees, prasadam.
Yeah.
So a lot of good association from Maharaj, and very nice.
I told Vikash about the subtitles. He was having,
next time
he was like having a bit of a think about it. He said, that's correct. Like how?
Because there was a true story. There was one station in Japan. There was only one person was catching a train from that station. They was about to close the station. This is, what is not necessary. But that girl, she was going to the high school girl. So until she finished the school, the station was running. Only one girl catch a train, on that station until she finished the year 12. Then they closed the station. There's one girl only. He said, no, that's right. You're catching a train from here. Train has to stop here. We cannot dismantle the station until you finish the school. Once she finished the school, she went to the uni. Then they finished, closed down the station. No matter if it's one person for Deepa, they have to put the speaker or translation or something with the subtitle, something like the Deepa for you. I'm going to go all the way to the parliament to fight for you.
Oh my God. Yeah,
because
right. No,
fight
but
for the justice, you know.
I understand.
But how
I
often that's
appreciate.
happening? It's not a regular thing, is it? It's just
But
Doesn't matter.
that was
he's visiting
something that
them.
it was something that I held quite, it was one of the things I practiced in corporate before, like, with multinational teams and things, and people always tended to default to the language they're comfortable. And I always would stop and I say, excuse me, people here don't understand what you're saying. You need to speak in a common language
Universal
that we
language,
all,
yes.
yeah. So then,
Unless you got a translator.
apologies, we didn't intend. I said, whatever it is, I'm just drawing your attention to that fact. Now let's carry on. But
I noticed that
so
when Abhay Prabhu
everybody
and
understands, yeah.
you know what, you sit down to the Jayanti with the Indian devotee, they start talking in Hindi. Abhay Prabhu said, listen, I can only sit when you speak in English, otherwise I go.
You need the subtitles too, that's right. No, it's true.
I can understand.
And Goshen was no use. I mean, I only told him at the end, but he just laughed. I said, hello.
What can I say? Like, you know, but there was I cannot transfer, like, you know, it was a saying is, if I'm sitting next to you, Deepa, still I can't translate because every sentence, if I translate to you, I miss the next sentence. If I translate that, it's like a running conversation.
It's
If you
very
speak
difficult
and
to do that.
difficult
Actually.
to each word I translate, I can, but in the meanwhile, next sentence comes in. And I'll be left behind. So,
well, translators do that though.
All
I
I
know,
can
it must
say
be very
was
difficult.
saying about Krishna. You know, they were saying that Krishna's pastime, Krishna's glory. You know, there was a Radhanath Maharaj's one time, he was passing through the Bihar, going to Nepal. He stayed one of the temple. There was a Ram Katha happening there. And he was listening there, but he didn't understand anything. But the one school teacher was there. He said, I'll tell you after that. 3-hour katha finish. And then he say about that, okay, they're telling about the Krishna, this. For 5-10 minutes, he tell him. Radha said, okay, next day he came again. 3 hours katha again. He only said 5 minutes only. Third came 3 hours. He only said 5 minutes. So he said, hang on a sec. Radhanath Maharaj says, something is not right. The katha was 3 hours. You only telling me 5 minutes. And the same thing, you're repeating that again and again. And he said, well, that's what he told in there. But he somehow he's unconvinced. And then he went to Nepal. But after that, he found out that school teacher, he's got a dream. And the dream, the Krishna came that he's my bhakta. He's going to go to Vrindavan. You can tell only this story. Every day, just this story you have to tell. You don't tell anything else. He's my bhakta. He's going to go to Vrindavan. After that, he mentioned in his book, in Journey Home, he said, after 20 years, went there and he told me, he says, in my dream, the Krishna came, he's my bhakta. He cannot go to Vrindavan, only tell my story. That's all. And there was a Ram Katha happening, he's telling about the Krishna. So all I can say, Deepa, there was a Krishna story, pastime, and then everything, just Krishna.
I got that much, yes.
That's it. If you got a Krishna in your heart, job done.
Okay, so Deepa, what we had come up to when you joined in, we're today, we're 10th chapter, text 10, and I was just saying about last week, the second of the 4 seed verses. So the first one, text 8, is establishing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I am the source of the spiritual material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise who perfectly know this engage in my devotion service, worship me with all their hearts. So this establishing that Krishna is God. And the second verse, and then it's also saying that those who know that Krishna is God, they engage in devotional service. And then the second verse, which we did last week, text 9, as explaining what is that devotional service. So the devotees always thinking about Krishna, and the devotees are coming together and they're discussing about Krishna together, like what we do. We've been doing always in the soul searching, as we're all devotees of Krishna, and we're coming together. And what are we doing? We're discussing about Krishna. So this is probably the real juice, the real taste for a devotee in the material world, that makes it tolerable for a devotee to live in separation from Krishna in the material world. It's a miserable place, as Krishna says in many places. Dukhalayam shashvatam. It's a temporary place full of miseries. But what makes it bearable and tolerable is that when devotees come together and we chant about Krishna and we discuss about Krishna and everything, and that gives us so much happiness and satisfaction. And that's mentioned in this text 9, that they derive great satisfaction and bliss from always enlightening one another and conversing about me. So this is the real happiness and bliss, satisfaction for devotees in the material world, is coming together and talking about Krishna. So very important we do that. And that's why by whatever it takes, we try to keep the soul searching session going in any situation. When we were there in Newcastle, we did it like that, but now we're away, we still try to do it like that, using the technology so that we can come together in this way. But yeah, it gives a lot of satisfaction, a lot of happiness. Very important. Without that, the bhakti may dry up, And just like a plant, you want to grow a plant from seed and it sprouts, and then how do you keep it alive? You've got to water it. You've got to put the water on there, and then it will grow, So this is like the watering process for our bhakti, is to keep on hearing and chanting about Krishna. 9 processes of devotional service. The 2 most important of the 9 are, what are the 2 most?
Shravana.
Yeah, hearing about Krishna and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam. So very essential. This is like the foundation of our bhakti. And it starts off from hearing. Why did we come to Krishna? Because we heard about Krishna from devotees. We heard about Krishna. I was working on a farm and I heard about Krishna from a devotee, and that brought me to Krishna consciousness. And that keeps us in Krishna consciousness. We keep on hearing and then chanting like that. It's very essential. So we're all like that. A lot of people heard about Krishna at the Bhakti tree, in Newcastle, and then they came to Krishna consciousness because of hearing about Krishna.
And I noticed one thing there. It's like, when I'm driving their Uber, sometimes we do have the rough customer, the rough talking there. And then if I've been quiet driving, I don't involve in conversation. When they say about that something to me, it's like, why your hair's like that, or this neck beard, things like that. I said, I'm a Krishna devotee, Hare Krishna. And all of a sudden I seen that they've been quiet and they get scared. They don't talk much. And they get like, I don't say anything just like that, because I don't know, they're like, but they just get a bit quiet and they just like distance. I noticed that. And they just get a bit hypnotized, something like that. It's just something changes in their behavior suddenly. Even they are talking very gossip and like, the bad language, or, like, using F and F word. And all of a sudden I noticed that it's changes in them. And then either they're quiet, or if they telling shut up each other. That means no talk in the car. No, we talk after that in the car, not in the car. And I said, how come they behavior? So many times I've noticed that if they get me involved in conversation, I said, I'm spiritual follower of Hare Krishna. And then next week I show them this, and then they just like, it's just
they'll get some blessings for respecting.
Yeah, but they just get very mute or something, and then they just get a bit, I don't know, something scared or something like that. And I noticed behavior changes.
Reverence. I think it's reverence. It's kind of subconsciously there is. I mean,
Krishna
the
in them as well.
unconsciously there is
Yes.
awareness and there is
Look.
respect, and to actually come, you are
Yes.
just there
Yes.
1 foot away from
They
it.
don't heard about the Krishna or anything. They're not Hare Krishna, something like that. They've never heard of it. But somehow inside it's like, Krishna inside them as well. And if I say Hare Krishna, it just goes something inside and they don't know what is it.
Yeah.
And then, so it's just something I noticed that. And like sometimes I cook and then give it to some of my friend police officer. He said that your food has got something. And I said, what is it? Nothing. I'm just like, he said, no, there is, but we can't explain. I said, anyway, enjoy the meal.
One of my favorite verses in the Chaitanya Charitamrita is saying that Eka Krishna Nama Kare Sava Papakshaya Jiva Spashya Chandale Sabare Udare. So that the holy name of Krishna, even once going in the ear of a Chandala, means the lowest class of person, even below Sudra, even going in the ear just once, and that name, if it comes on their tongue, if they say Krishna's name once, then all their sins are destroyed and they become delivered from the material world like that. So it's very powerful, the name Krishna, very powerful. If they hear it once or if they say it on their tongue once, all their sins are gone and wiped clean. There's clean slate, all their bad karma and everything. And then Krishna will make some arrangement how they can be delivered from the material world. And Krishna becomes attracted to hear that name from the lips of his part and parcel. That's because we've been turned away from Krishna for millions and millions of years. And just like if the children have left the parents, the parents feeling separation from the children and longing to have them come back. And if the parents, the children one day just remember their parents and have some thought about the parents, then the parent will be very happy, and the parent will do anything to try to bring that child, back home like that. So as soon as the consciousness of Krishna is reawakened in the soul, then Krishna takes special interest. How I can bring this soul back? How I can bring this soul back? It's the question was. It's mentioned that if someone attends the Rath Yatra even once in their life, then they're going to get liberated. So the question was asked to Prabhupada, how does that practically happen, that just by going to Rath Yatra, even a sinful person can be liberated? So Prabhupada mentioned that, so you've gone to Rath Yatra and then you go back to whatever your normal life is, materialistic life, and then in due course of time the body dies. And then at the time of death, what happens is your mind flashes back over all the events of your life. So it's like in a movie, is actually not one scene. It's made up of little pictures. So, and they join all the pictures together. And because the pictures are changing so fast, it looks like it's just one continuous thing. But it's not one continuous thing. It's all these little pictures. And even we have that changing bodies picture, the changing bodies, and you can see, the baby's body and the boyhood, youth, and old age. And it seems like it's just one body, but no, it's not one body. There's so many different bodies, but because the changes are happening so quickly, it seems like it's just one body, not different bodies, but it's actually many different bodies like that. So at the time of death, the mind flashes back over all the events of one's life. And when it comes to the real, that you're attending the Rath Yatra, Krishna arranges in your heart that the real stops of your life. Your life's real stops there with the Rath Yatra, and then you die. So he arranges that that death takes place when you're just thinking about that, you're seeing that Rathiatra and thinking about that Rathiatra. And that's what says in the we can look at that text number 8, chapter number 8, text number, it's around is it around 5, 8, chapter 5 or 6?
And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone, at once attain my nature.
Yeah.
Of this there is no doubt.
And the next one.
Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
So yeah, when they die, they remember that day they're pulling the rough cart or seeing Lord Jagannath, and then they die at that, remembering that, and then of this is no doubt. Krishna says they are alone, remembering me alone, at once attains my nature. So to attain Krishna's nature means going back to Godhead, because where is Krishna? What's Krishna's nature? It's the spiritual nature. So Krishna lives in that spiritual nature, which is called Vaikuntha, and where everything is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. So whoever remembers Krishna when they die will at once attain that nature. There's no doubt about it. Asamshaya. There's no doubt about it. And then whatever you think of when you die, that's where you're going to go. So like you think about a deer, you're going to become a deer. You think about, your girlfriend, you become a woman. Think about the boyfriend, become a boy, like that, so forth. And that's the way it works. So that time of death is what we're thinking about, is so important. But yeah, Krishna's so pleased that we do even a little bit of devotional service. He might help out in some way like that he'll help us, think about some divine thing when we die. And going back to, Sri Sampradaya, Gulshan was talking about this get together with the Sri Sampradaya, and Ramanujacharya is the inaugurator of that Sampradaya in South India. And one time he spoke to the deity, and that just goes to show the deity's not just marble or metal or something. So he spoke to the deity, and then the deity spoke back to him. Ranganath, lying down, beautiful big lying down deity, huge deity. And I think it was person installed by Lord Brahma, like millions and millions and millions of years ago. That's how old the deity is. Personally established by Lord Brahma.
Is a deity of Lord Vishnu or Lord Rama? What deity is it for?
Vishnu, four-armed.
Vishnu.
Yeah, four-armed.
Four-armed Vishnu. Okay.
Yeah, personally established by Lord Brahma. And so he asked the deity, my Lord, if your devotee cannot remember you at the time of death, then what will happen to your devotee? Because that's a concern, right? What if you don't remember Krishna and you remember something else? Then what's going to happen? So there was silence for a minute, and then the deity spoke back to Ramanujacharya and said, if my devotee cannot remember me at the time of death, then I will remember my devotees.
Jackpot.
And that's love. You hit the jackpot completely.
Yes.
So there's nothing to worry about, because if you make some little effort, tiny steps to love Krishna, then Krishna's going to make big steps, in a loving relationship with you, because Krishna's more eager to have a relationship with us than we are to have a relationship with him, like that, because he's our, supreme loving father and best friend and everything. He loves us so much. So even we make tiny steps towards him, he's going to make big steps towards us, and then problem solved. So that's much more secure than remembering Krishna, which is actually, there could be so many obstacles to that. What if you're asleep in the car? Like I know Tamal Krishna Goswami, one of Prabhupada's disciples. I heard he wasn't asleep, but just in case, say you were asleep. What if you're in a car and you fall asleep or whatever, and then you die? You weren't even conscious, so you definitely weren't probably thinking about
Krishna. Accident, maybe.
And some kind of accident, whatever, like that. You're in Israel or Iran and a missile drops on your head, that. So And but this, so there's a lot of possible obstacles to us remembering Krishna, but there's no obstacles for Krishna to remember us. So the thing is, how do you get Krishna to remember to think about you? And that is bhakti. Bhakti is so powerful. There's 6 characteristics of pure devotional service mentioned in the Nectar Devotion, the beginning of the Nectar Devotion. Highly important book. Prabhupada said 4 books are essential for you to advance in your bhakti and also to give you sufficient knowledge to be able to preach to anyone. So Bhagavad Gita is one, which we're doing, and Chaitanya Charitamrita, which we're doing on Saturdays with Narendra mainly, or a summary of that, which is called Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And then Srimad Bhagavatam, of course. And then the 4th one is the Nectar of Devotion. Very important book like that. It's the science of devotional service. So when there's 6 characteristics, so the first one mentioned is Kleshagni. And that pure devotional service, it burns up all the miseries. It burns up all the miseries, you know. So it's not that actually the miseries keep on coming, but the devotee is not aware of the miseries anymore, because it's so, like I was talking about, so absorbed and thinking about Krishna. You're always thinking about Krishna. How can I make a garland for Krishna, and how can I cook better for Krishna? How can I help more people to find out about Krishna? You know, like that. So many things. How can I distribute more books? How can I make a nice temple for Krishna? Like that, you're always thinking about. You don't notice, oh, it's very hot, it's very cold, you know, like that. The dog was barking and so many things. The mosquito was biting. You don't notice so much. My back is aching and so many things. Because you're just absorbed. I know, like when these soul searching sessions, all my miseries go away. It actually is still there, but I'm not thinking about them because I'm thinking about Bhagavad Gita and talking to you. So I forget my backache and I forget all the problems, you know, like that. So it burns up all the miseries. And then the second one mentioned is Shubhadat. You know, it gives so many auspicious good things happen. So many good things happen. So many auspicious things.
I was mentioned, like, you know, I was there 2022 in that what's you call that? Went there to India. So did that. But went there to what do you call it, in Calcutta, and then took a taxi to go to see that Dham. And over there, 4 o'clock, I was going to the temple, and I stayed in the, you know, the what you get at Jai Shri Mataji's apartment there for free. You got Chitrupa saying there. And then I was going in Mangalati in the morning, and I seen that a few Russian girls, they're running that too in the sari, 4:15, 4:20, because it's about to start that. Their feet are going to the cow dung or a dog poo, or mosquitoes are biting, but there's a smile on the face. We're going to Mangalati for Krishna. They did not see that anything. They're running the bare feet. And I was looking that. I was just making sure my feet should not be going the dog poo or any, you know, the cow dung or something like that. Mosquito was biting me too, and they must be biting them too. But the face, I was looking that glory of going to Mangalati and then darshan for Krishna, that was way, it's like you cannot see anything. I was just looking and I would just get stunned. I said, wow, that is devotion.
Yeah. So that's a good example, very good example. So that's the art of Krishna consciousness. So we're taking our consciousness out of the material world, out of the body, and putting it on Krishna. And that's why we call it International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So what it's really about, it's a very subtle, very fine thing. Just changing our consciousness. You don't have to change where you live, you know, what your clothing is, what your hairstyle, whatever, anything, your associations, but just changing your consciousness, your work that you do, everything can remain the same, but we're just changing our consciousness to Krishna consciousness. And then you're away from all the bodily, like Gulshan was explaining. You're not aware of where you put your foot and all this kind of stuff.
It's exactly the feeling like the gopis going to run Krishna. They exactly was running for Mangalati.
They drop everything, forget everything.
Yes, drop everything.
Forget the kids, the husband.
That's right. They got no shoes on the feet. and then cow dung and all their mosquito biting, and they can see, I can see mosquito biting me, for them as well must be biting, 4 in the morning, 4:15. And then there was like a gopis running for Krishna, like 4:30, that conch shell kind of blur. I can see exactly how the gopis are running for Krishna.
Oh.
Exactly.
Prabhupada
Very
is
nice.
amazing. What Prabhupada has achieved is incredible, to lift us, you know, Kali Yuga, Malechas and Yavanas, up to this platform of the gopis. Actually, it's what he's given us is like, is lifting us up to the platform of the gopis, and, you know, running for Krishna like that. It's amazing.
Yesterday, that it's Deepa has got a gopi bhava as well. Yesterday, I noticed that she didn't understand, but she was dancing like that and things. And I said, wow, wow, you don't need a language. It just went through straight into Deepa. Wonderful.
So then the third one mentioned, so we've done burning in the miseries and giving, bestowing all kinds of auspicious good things. And then mentioned as it brings one to the point of transcendental happiness, sukha ananda or something. So much happiness, you know, so much happiness. And then even in the very beginning of bhakti, when we first take to it, these first two are there. You notice that straight away. I mean, within the first few days of me joining ISKCON, I had already achieved this. Kleshagni and Shubhadat. All the miseries were burnt up, and so many good things happened to me. But this the next ones happen when one, I think, reaches Bhava Bhakti, it's mentioned. This the Sukhananda, I can't remember the Sanskrit. They were feeling so much happiness. So that's when the devotee chants Hare Krishna and tears come out of his eyes and things like that. Is feeling so much ecstasy when he's doing his service, feeling so much happiness. And it's mentioned, I think the other one is deriding even the thought of liberation. So at that point, you're so happy in the material world doing your service, you don't even care for liberation. What most people are running after liberation. Let me get out of the suffering of the material world, free from birth and death and all this kind of thing. But the devotee is so happy in his devotional service, he doesn't even, not even interested in liberation. That doesn't mean he won't get liberation, but he's not running after it. He's not hankering for liberation. Actually, it's said that liberation is an automatic byproduct of devotional service. If you do devotional service, that's automatically a byproduct, is that you will be liberated. But the devotee is so much enjoying his bhakti that he doesn't even think about it, doesn't even look for that. It just automatically comes. And then mentioned, this is in the Prema Bhakti, then it's the only means, and that's why we brought the subject up, the only means of attracting Krishna. So this pure devotional service, it's the only way to attract Krishna. You know, everyone is attracted to Krishna, but Krishna's not attracted to anything in the material world. He already has everything. There's nothing that attracts him. But bhakti attracts him, pure devotional service, that pure love that attracts Krishna. And what's the other one mentioned is that, it's very rarely achieved. Very rarely achieved prema bhakti. Why is it so rarely achieved? Because Krishna is very careful who he gives the pure bhakti to, because it does capture Krishna, it attracts Krishna and it captures Krishna. It even controls Krishna. So because pure bhakti controls Krishna, he's very careful who he rewards with that pure bhakti, because it completely controls him. So if you imagine if he gave that to the wrong person, then he would become controlled by that. And what examples do we have? Can you think of any devotees that controlled Krishna by their pure love?
Radha.
Yes, Radharani is the ultimate example. And Jayanti's saying Mother Yashoda.
Mother, yes.
Mother Yashoda. And the example is, right, how Mother Yashoda tied Krishna up with ropes, and that's the whole Kartik month. Every day we sing that song where Mother Yashoda is running after Krishna, and she catches him, which is impossible to catch God. It said even the yogis who can travel at the speed of the mind cannot catch Krishna. But Mother Yashoda, this tubby lady, running in a sari, which is not easy to run in a sari, can catch Krishna, and Krishna was afraid of her. Krishna was crying about to be punished by Mother Yashoda. So the power of bhakti is so much that it controls Krishna. And even Arjuna, we've talked about before, we're reading here in the Bhagavad Gita, how in the very beginning, then Arjuna was ordering Krishna. You say the very first verse of Bhagavad Gita, Sainayor Ubaya Madhya. Okay, let's look at that 1:1. We don't often look at 1:1, but no, even that is very valuable. That's not the very first one. It's after a few. First one is telling us where this is happening. Dharma, etc., Kura, etc. So the Battle of Kurukshetra. And let's look where it is. It's not far. Where is that? Senior Ubiyama. Oh yeah, 21. 21.
21, 22 combines.
Yeah.
Arjuna said, "Oh, inflammable one, please throw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms."
Yeah, so Arjuna is instructing Krishna, God, to drive the chariot in the middle of the battlefield. And the beginning, the purport, what does Prabhupada say? Although Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, out of his causeless mercy, he was engaged in the service of his friend. He never fails in his affection for his devotees, and thus he is addressed herein as infallible, as charioteer. He had to carry out the orders of Arjuna, and since he did not hesitate to do so, he is addressed as infallible. So this is the position of the pure devotee. He can even control Krishna. One time, Prabhupada was talking about the Mayavadis and personalists, saying they want to be one with Krishna, means equal to Krishna. And then Prabhupada said, but the devotee is even more than that. They want to be equal to Krishna, one with Krishna. The devotee becomes, he said, more than Krishna. That's far out. That's amazing. Becomes even greater than Krishna. Greater in the sense Krishna's God, of course, but greater in the sense that Krishna becomes controlled by the devotee's love, and he will do anything to please that devotee. Not of course that the devotee has a desire at all to control Krishna. That's not in the devotee's mind, that the devotee wants to become greater than God. But that's the actual fact, the actual result. That's the power of bhakti. The power of bhakti. The devotee's only desire is to serve God. That's the criteria to become a pure devotee. You only have one desire, and that's the desire to serve God. But the actual result of having that one desire to serve God is that God wants to serve you. And that's pure love. Love is not one way, love is two way. So the devotee loves Krishna and wants to serve Krishna, and Krishna reciprocates, and he loves the devotee and wants to serve the devotee. So that's
it's like a Newton law. Every action equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah.
So even Newton understand as well Krishna.
And sometimes what Krishna does upsets Radharani, and then she gets angry. It's called man. It's a particular mood of hers where she goes into man. She gets all upset and sulking and crying and everything. And she won't want to talk with Krishna and everything and get angry at him. And then he'll fall down at her feet and hold on to Radharani's feet, put her feet on his head and beg for forgiveness and everything. So we see, how Krishna becomes controlled by his devotees' love, whether it be Radharani.
Would you say what happened with Rukmini was that did she have that effect on Krishna as well, or he just wanted to save her because she thought about him all the time?
Yeah, I mean, he couldn't refuse her pleading with him to come and rescue her, even though he had important business elsewhere. Actually, at that time, Jarasandha had attacked Mathura. Jarasandha had attacked Mathura with many Akshahini divisions, attacked there. And then from one direction, and then another, for the first time, another demon, the head of the Yavanas named Kali Yavana, attacked Mathura from a different direction with 10 million Yavana soldiers. And Krishna obviously was responsible to protect his family members. But then he received the message. That from Rukmini that I'm in big trouble. I'm about to be married to Shishupal, but I love you. I don't love Shishupal. I love you. Please come and rescue me. There's no time to spare. And so he just took off, and he left the battlefield, and he became known as Ranchor, which means that one who runs away from the battlefield. Now, materially speaking, if you run away from a battlefield for a Kshatriya, is the worst possible thing you can do to turn your back on the battle, and people call you a coward and everything like that, Ranchor. But from the devotee's point of view, Krishna's famous as Ranchor. Because why? He's famous for running away from the battle. Because why he ran away? Out of his love for his devotee, Rukmini. He left that battlefield. So that just shows the devotees how Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal, that he's very affectionate. Krishna is very affectionate to his devotees, that he'll give up anything, his own things, for pleasing his devotees. And we've seen that also. He promised not to fight. So the word of honor is also a very important thing for a Kshatriya. And he said, I will not fight. But to save Arjuna's life, then he picked up that chariot wheel to fight Bhishma like that. So we'll see that
Arjuna's life. It was a vow for Bhishma. I will let you have a fight. He said, I cannot break my devotee's vow.
Yeah.
He says, yeah.
Well, he protected Bhishma's word, because Bhishma had promised that either I'll kill Arjuna or I'll make Krishna break his promise.
Yes.
So he kept Bhishma's promise, and also he protected Arjuna.
Yes.
And because actually Bhishma was a far greater warrior than Arjuna. Far greater.
Oh, yeah. He could have to kill Arjuna anytime.
Yeah, anytime. Actually, Arjuna was compared to a small fish. Compared to Bhishma and Dronacharya were compared to Timangila. Timangila is a fish in the ocean that can swallow a whale whole. No biting necessary. Just swallow a whale. That's a big fish. And that's called Timangila. So Bhishma, Dronacharya, we compared to Timangila and Arjuna, just like a small
even Karna as well,
fish.
very powerful. Karna can
and Karna also, Karna also. like that. But Krishna protected him. Krishna saved him, like that. So this is Krishna's love for his devotees. He'll do anything for his devotees. He becomes conquered, controlled by the devotees. He's like a plaything in the hands of his devotees. One time Nanda Maharaj said to baby Krishna, bring me my chappals, my shoes, I've got a pair of wooden shoes. They're the traditional Indian shoes. They're heavy, heavy shoes. And Krishna couldn't, had a hard time to carry them, so he put them on his head. So Krishna was carrying his father's shoes on his head to his father, and he happily did it. He didn't do it resentfully. Oh, I'm God. Why do I have to do this? No, he did it very lovingly, did like that. He's very lovingly did like that. And Krishna is actually so absorbed in serving his devotees, and to do that, he has to forget that he's God. And this is the Yoga Maya. This is the influence of Yoga Maya. It's so powerful that Yoga Maya's function is not only it makes the devotees forget that Krishna's God, because you couldn't act in that way if you thought he's God. Arjuna is not going to be asking Krishna to, drive my chariot in the middle of the battlefield if he knew that Krishna's God. That Yoga Maya has made him forget that, Mother Yashoda is not going to be running after him with a stick and tying him up with ropes if she's thinking that he's God.
At one stage, he does realize that Krishna is God in the 11th chapter.
Yeah,
Right.
and so at one stage, Mother Yashoda, when she looked in Krishna's mouth, she realized, whoa, who is this person? And, Arjuna in the 11th chapter realizes that he's God. And then very quickly after they get their realization, Yoga Maya will cover them over them again, and they'll go back to their relationship that he's my friend, he's my best friend, or he's my son. So Krishna felt that Mother Yashoda, she's like got too much awe and reverence for me now that she's seen the universe in my mouth. Oh, this is no good for my relationship with my mum. And then so he arranged that Yoga Maya covers her over again. It's back to Krishna, don't do it again. You better not do that again, otherwise you're going to get it. So
but will it be possible that Yoga Maya comes to devotee as well? He thinks that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Will the Yoga Maya comes to devotee, pure devotee?
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Yoga Maya makes the devotee in the spiritual world, not talking about the material world, and the material is Mahamaya. So we're getting the stick from Mahamaya. But in the spiritual world, Yoga Maya makes the devotee forget that Krishna is God. So Yoga Maya, under the influence of Yoga Maya, if you got Sakya Ras with Krishna, Yoga Maya will make you think Krishna's my best friend. If you got Vatsalya Ras, Yoga Maya will make you think Krishna's my child. If you got Madhurya Ras, that Krishna's my lover. And like that. If you got Dasya Ras, then Krishna is my master.
What rasa that the Prabhupada has with the Krishna? Dasya rasa.
That's confidential.
Okay.
Many people speculate. Actually, if you pull out the songbook, there's a song that Prabhupada wrote, 2 of them, on the Jaladuta. Can you bring me the songbook, please? Beautiful. If you haven't read that song, read it. Oh, it's amazing. There's 2 of them. One when he was on the trip, and one when he arrived at the Boston Harbor.
Today's class, he was talking on the phone.
At the Boston Harbor. And one of them sort of reveals what his rasa is with Krishna. But still, we don't want to speculate. And it doesn't really matter for us. We know that he's a pure devotee. Whatever the rasa is not really so important. However, this song is beautiful, and it does. Prabhupada definitely enters into a rasa in the song.
In that talk, one reporter asked Prabhupada, what was your expectation to come to America? Did you think these people will accept? And Prabhupada's response.
Can you hear what Jayanti's saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
And Prabhupada's response was, when I arrived, I wrote the song, and I was thinking Krishna, why did you bring me here?
Mm.
Because are these people going to accept what I'm going to say about you? And so he said, anyway, you have some plans, so you brought me here.
Yeah, yeah.
So now you make me dance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
But that's how he answered that
Just
reproach.
Yeah. Yeah, let's read the whole song. It's called Prayer to the Lotus Feet of Krishna. It's in the songbook. Prayer to the Lotus Feet of Krishna, towards the beginning of the songbook. And so I'll read the whole song. It's so beautiful. I emphatically say to you, O brothers, you will obtain your good fortune from the Supreme Lord Krishna only when Srimati Radharani becomes pleased with you. So that's high level right from the beginning. He's talking about Radharani. You know, that you're going to become fortunate when she's pleased with you. And that's why in Vrindavan, everyone in Vrindavan is not saying Krishna, Krishna, Jai, Krishna, Jai,
Radhe,
Krishna.
Radhe.
They're saying Radhe, Radhe, Jai, Radhe. Because they understand that, you know, if Radharani is pleased with you, then automatically Krishna will be pleased like that. And it's difficult to get Krishna pleased, but it's easy for Radharani to be pleased. She's the soft-hearted, feminine energy of Krishna. Srimad Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who is very dear to Lord Gauranga, the son of Mother Sachi, is unparalleled in his service to the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. He is that great saintly spiritual master who bestows intense devotion to Krishna at different places throughout the world. By his strong desire, the holy name of Lord Gauranga will spread throughout all the countries of the Western world. In all the cities, towns, and villages on the earth, from all the oceans, seas, rivers, streams, everyone will chant the holy name of Krishna. What a vision Prabhupada has, you know. And interestingly, he's the one that's done that, isn't it? Prabhupada's spread it in every town and village. But is he taking the credit for that? No, he's giving all the credit to his Guru Maharaj. Saying by his strong desire, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, the holy name of Gauranga will be spread throughout. Actually, he's the one that was instrumental to do it, but he's given all the credit to his Guru. As the vast mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu conquers all directions, a flood of transcendental ecstasy will certainly cover the land. When all the sinful, miserable living entities become happy, the Vaishnava's desire is then fulfilled. So Prabhupada explains that this is the only desire of a pure devotee. He just wants everyone to be happy. That's his only purpose. He wants everyone to be happy. And he knows that only Krishna consciousness can achieve that. There's no other way for everyone to be happy other than Krishna consciousness. Although my Guru Maharaj ordered me to accomplish this mission, I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, O Lord, now I am begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy, for you are the wisest and most experienced of all. If you bestow your power, by serving the spiritual master, one attains the absolute truth. One's life becomes successful. If that service is obtained, then one becomes happy and gets your association due to good fortune. And then he quotes from Srimad Bhagavatam, my dear Lord, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of my association with material desires one after another, I was gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as his disciple and instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? That's from Prahlad Maharaj to Lord Nrsimhadev. So this is the fact that it's by the mercy. I mean, we were gliding into hellish life, materialistic life, and by the mercy of some devotee has lifted us up, has rescued us from that, you know, deep well of materialistic life by the mercy of a devotee. So our first duty is to serve that devotee that rescued us from the material world, like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and inspired Prabhupada like that. O Lord Krishna, you are my eternal companion. Forgetting you, I have suffered the kicks of Maya birth after birth. If today the chance to meet you occurs again, then I will surely be able to rejoin you. So he's longing to meet Krishna. He's thinking even today. So that's a fact. Even today, we could meet Krishna like that. It simply depends on our desire.
So he got 2 heart attacks, so he could be also referring to that he could be meeting Krishna.
Right, yeah. Because at this time on the boat, Prabhupada had 2 heart attacks. So he could be also thinking that, and if I die today, I can meet Krishna like that. Now here's what's revealing maybe what his rasa is. So listen carefully. Oh, dear friend. So he's talking about Krishna. Oh, dear friend. In your company, I will experience great joy once again. In the early morning, I will wander about the cowherd pastures and fields, running and frolicking in the many forests of Raj. I will roll on the ground in spiritual ecstasy. Oh, when will that day be mine? So there you go, Sakya Rasa.
Sakya. So, but
it's
if
the
you Sakya
that
Rasa,
we want with Krishna. It's not,
it's between you and Krishna 101. Yes, nobody else can enter.
We want
only you and Krishna. Don't tell, just in your mind, think about it and feel about it and act like that. That's it.
It's not something that it's recommended to be speculating about. I wonder if I'm a peacock in the spiritual world, or a cow, or a girl, or a boy, or whatever. No, but it's revealed to us when Krishna is pleased by us serving, like mainly mentioned in this song, serving the spiritual master. That's our focus. We just try to carry out the orders of the spiritual master. Like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati wanted the name Gauranga to be spoken everywhere in the world. And Prabhupada's mission is to make that happen like that. And he did. And he did. And then when Krishna's pleased by you following your spiritual master's instructions, then he can reveal your rasa and everything like that. But it's not something to be speculating about like that. I mean, even if you found out you're a peacock or whatever in the spiritual world, you're going to start trying to fly or something, or if you're going to sleep in the tree at night like on Nuvakula. The peacocks and run after.
Radha Maharaj, he mentioned in his book Journey Home, there was one devotee. He was flying, like, he just like whenever he seen that Jagannath and all that, he just do like a dandavat pranam, and he just push himself down on the ground. He's got like a nose bleeding and headbutt and things like that. He said, he's an avatar, he's an avadura, something like that. Later find out he's got a medical condition.
So we don't want to artificially.
So Deepa, when you dance in front of Jagannath, you find your relation with.
You can realize. I mean, everything's revealed by Prabhupada. What is our mood should be? Are we thinking I'm a gopi in the spiritual world or something? Is that what Prabhupada's thinking? No. What is he thinking? I am not worthy or fit to do it. I am very fallen and insignificant. Therefore, I am now begging for your mercy so that I may become worthy. Like that. So this is the mood of advanced devotee. I'm very, useless, humble, insignificant. I can't do any. I'm not qualified. My spiritual master's just ordered me to do like this. So I'm doing it as a service to him. That not that we're thinking, I'm a cowherd girl and I'm one of Radharani's associates or whatever. It's saying I am useless, I am hopeless. And so this is the real mood of an advanced devotee. We don't want to imitate, the great devotees like that. We can never be Radharani or Mother Yashoda, or these positions are already taken eternally. We can just be the servant of the servant of the servant. And that's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said himself about who he is. He said there's a famous verse, Naham Vipro na cha narapatir napi vaishya na sudro. It's saying, I'm not a Brahmana, I'm not a Kshatriya, I'm not a Vaishya, I'm not a Sudra. I'm not a Brahmachari, I'm not a Grihastha, I'm not a Vanaprastha, I'm not a sannyasi. I am the servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna, who is the maintainer of the gopis, who is dazzling with brilliant effulgence and the source of universal happiness. So this is our position. We're the servant of the servant of the servant. So we're the servant of the servant of Radharani, the servant of Arjuna, the servant of the servant of, like that, Mother Yashoda, like that. And but we're not qualified. We're very hopeless. But our only hope is the mercy of our spiritual master is lifting us up like that from this well of snakes, like that, filled with snakes, like that. So we can learn so much from like this, even one song of the Acharyas like Prabhupada. These songs by Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Narottam Das Thakur, Prabhupada, like that, filled with so much meaning, and we can learn so much. Okay, so let's go to our verse for today. So yeah, that was the point. This love, even if we can't remember Krishna when we die, which is a good chance that might happen, but Krishna will remember us. Krishna will remember that. For so many years we chanted 16 rounds. He will remember so many years we've attended soul-searching sessions. We've read Prabhupada's books. We tried to.
So he's watching at the moment. He's watching.
He's watching every moment. Yeah, he's watching.
Yes.
We tried to set up a center, the Bhakti Tree. We tried to do some service for the cows at the farm. We tried to distribute prasadam like that. Just a couple of weeks ago, we had the good fortune to distribute about 3,000 plates of prasadam. So the Krishna will remember. We'll probably forget, and if I'm still alive in 5 or 10 years, we'll forget that we, pumped out 3,000 plates of prasadam. But Krishna will remember. Krishna's memory is never becomes lost, forgetful like that. So we might forget, but Krishna never. So that's the best process. The best process is that Krishna will remember us, and that's the hope the devotee has, because we know what are we? We might forget Krishna very easily. Maya is so powerful, and that's the function of Maya, is to make us forget Krishna. But if we can somehow, while we're capable and conscious, do some service for Krishna, and Krishna's remembering everything. Prabhupada said every time you do some service, it's like, and he said 1 cent, 1 cent in your spiritual account. Okay, you went to offer dandavat to Radha Gokulananda, 1 cent. You served a guest prasadam, 1 cent. You chanted the holy name, 1 cent. You attended the soul-searching session, picked up Bhagavad Gita, 1 cent. So that adds up. One day you're going to have your piggy bank is full, like that, going back home, back to Godhead.
If you don't do minus, no?
There's no minus, but you can put it on hold. You can put it on hold. What puts it on hold, especially if you offend Vaishnavas, so that's not recommended. It's called the mad elephant offense. It's like if you have an elephant, you have a nice garden, and then one elephant is going inside the garden, everything is destroyed like that. So we have to be. That's the only thing we need to be careful about. But Krishna says we can look to second chapter 40 or 41. I think it's 40. Second chapter, text 40. That on this path there's no loss and no diminution. Yep.
In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution there, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear.
So it's good we brought up this verse, because what is this most dangerous fear is, you know what it is? What's the most dangerous fear for a devotee?
That we go down, not
that we forget Krishna and go down into the lower species of life. So in the lower species of life, what's the problem? Generally not Krishna conscious. So lower than human, generally there's no opportunity for Krishna consciousness. So that's fearful, that if this body dies and I become a worm or a dog or a pig or a fly or whatever, then you have to work your way up for millions of lifetimes to get another opportunity in human life. So, losing the human form of life, should be a great fear. But the devotee doesn't have to worry about this. See, what does it say? Can protect one from that. Because if you do a little bhakti, then you're not going to go down. There's, like it said, no loss, diminution. So you're not going to go down. You know, if you've in this life taking prasadam, if you're in this life, you've chanted the holy name in this life, you know, picked up the Bhagavad Gita, then you're going to get another opportunity to continue on from where you left off in this life. That means for you to be getting, you'll get prasadam again in your next life. You'll be getting Bhagavad Gita again in your next life and the holy name again in your next life. That means basically you've got to get a human form because you can't take advantage of those things unless you have a human form. So it's pretty much making sure. And then if we go to the famous verses in the 6th chapter about this subject, 641 and 642.
The unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planets of the highest living entities, is born into a family of providers people or into family of rich aristocracy. Or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes his birth in the family of transcendentalist, but surely great in wisdom. Certainly such a birth is rare in this world.
And if you just look at 640, because before this, Arjuna asked a question, you know, like, what if I don't make it? What if I don't make it? Will I be like a riven cloud? That's his question, Arjuna's question. A riven cloud is like if a small cloud tries to join on to a big cloud. If it doesn't manage to join onto the big cloud, then the wind just blows it to bits and they won't exist anymore. So he said it was that if I don't make it in this yoga, and this practice of yoga, will I be like a riven cloud? And then in 40, text 40, what does Krishna say?
Thus, the Supreme Personality of God had said, son of Partha, a transcendentalist, engaged in auspicious activities does not meet with destruction either in this world or in the spiritual world. One who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil.
So this should be very encouraging to us, even if we're not fully successful. Then Krishna will just help us to continue on where we left off. So there's no loss, no diminution. It says if you've only, you know, done a little bit of yoga practice in this life, at least you'll be born in a rich family or a pious family, you know. So it means that gives you further opportunities. Why is a rich family good? What's the advantage of being born in a rich family?
Because you don't need to worry about to be working and looking after the family, so you can spend more time to go to the temple and do some more bhakti.
Yeah, that's
like
right.
You're born in the rich family.
Yeah, I never had to worry about those kind of things, you know. I could just travel around, work on organic farms and meet a devotee and become Krishna conscious. So, you know, whereas if you're in Ethiopia or something like that, then you know, every day you just where is food, where's a roof over my head, and I'm going to try to stop being shot in the back, you know. So it's very hard to think about higher things. And then the best birth you get if you've done a long yoga practice, you're born in a family of Vaishnavas, born in a family of devotees, and that's a rare birth. And Prabhupada said, I had that birth. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati had that birth. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was born in the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, great Acharya. And Prabhupada was born in the house of Gaur Mohan Dey, who was a devotee of Radha and Krishna. You know, so born in a family of Vaishnavas, very good birth, very good birth. And, you know, now in ISKCON, right, there's many kids taking birth in the family of devotees. Unfortunately, some devotees are a bit stupid and they're not looking after them, but they should. Those children born in a family of devotees, you know, very special souls. They're great yogis, you know, if you go by this. And, you know, sometimes they get, you know, neglected or whatever, but actually the kids should be very, I mean, all parents should look after their kids very nicely, but especially they're born in a family of devotees, those children are not ordinary children. And Prabhupada said to one mother, you know, you're looking after your children as good as deity worship, as good as deity worship. So for the mother, that child is like a deity, you know, as a manifestation of Krishna in the house, like that. So very important person getting that birth like that. So yeah, if you once you've taken to the path of bhakti, there's no loss, no diminution. You're just going to get more and more progress towards going back home, back to Godhead. So, and Krishna wants us to know that, because it's all these anxieties in our head that take us away from just focusing on, you know, happily serving Krishna. And that's what Krishna wants us to just happily be serving Krishna, doing our gardening for Krishna, cooking for Krishna, deity worship for Krishna, preaching for Krishna. He doesn't want us to be worried about, oh, what's going to happen to my family? What's going to happen to my parents? What's going to happen to my kids? What's going to happen to me? You know, he doesn't want us to be in anxiety. So he's telling us in so many places, don't have any doubt about it. You don't have to worry about this life or the next life or whatever. Don't worry. Just focus on your service to me, like that. So we should peacefully, happily be doing our service. There's really nothing a devotee has to worry about in this world. Actually, there is only one anxiety for an advanced devotee. You know what that is? There is one anxiety. And this is revealed by Prahlad Maharaj and many other great devotees. And Prabhupada, we can see that in his only life, he only had one anxiety.
How to make everybody devotees.
Yeah, how to make everyone devotees. Once you become Krishna conscious, you don't have any problems anymore. You're guaranteed going back home, back to Godhead. And your family members are going back home, back to Godhead, everything. The only anxiety is for all the non-devotees. They never had any Krishna consciousness. For them, their life for the future is horrible. Now, if they've never heard the holy name, never took prasad, never got a book, you know, about Krishna, their future is very bad, you know, like that. So the devotee's anxiety is, what can we do to help these, you know, poor people like that? So therefore, the advanced devotee is always preaching, you know, spreading Krishna consciousness. And we see that in the life of Prabhupada and the Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you know, Haridas Thakur. We see that Lord Chaitanya is God, but he's acting as a devotee. Lord Chaitanya was always trying to help other people become Krishna conscious. Lord Chaitanya, when he would meet anyone, he had three words he would say when he met anyone. Krishna Matir Astu. Krishna Matir Astu. You know, basically, may you become Krishna conscious. He was just always praying and hoping, may you become Krishna conscious. Whenever he met anyone, may you become Krishna conscious. Because like I said, the advanced devotee is convinced that Krishna consciousness is the only way for someone to be happy. You know, the reason why we're suffering, the cause of all suffering, is we've turned away from Krishna. And the solution to all that, we have to turn back to Krishna. It's impossible to be truly happy without Krishna. It's impossible. Therefore, the devotee is always trying to give Krishna consciousness to whoever he meets. Like if a devotee meets a millionaire, or these days that's nothing, a billionaire, you know, if you met Elon Musk or Bill Gates, what would you think? Would you think, oh, they're rich, they must be so happy, I don't need to preach to them? What would you think? Oh, they've got a PhD. You know, what do you call it?
No,
MBA.
I was, you know what I was thinking
Or
is,
if Bill Gates left school and ran
I know,
off.
but other people, I mean, there's different
No.
criteria. You think someone's
You know
successful
what
and happy,
I
right?
think is that how poor they are, all they got just money. How poor they are.
Yeah, so they can't be
That's all they
happy
got.
without Krishna consciousness. Doesn't matter, you might have money, you might have education, you might be, wow, she looks so beautiful, he's so handsome, or he's so strong, or whatever. No, there's no happiness without Krishna consciousness. Doesn't matter how beautiful you are, how strong you are, how much money you have, how educated you are. But you have everything else except for Krishna consciousness, but you can't be happy. And you don't have any of those things. You don't have any beauty. You don't have any education. You don't have any wealth. But if you got Krishna consciousness, you got everything. So that's the conviction of a devotee. That's the conviction of a devotee. And with that conviction, the devotee can preach to everyone like that. Prabhupada would preach to highly educated scientists. He would preach to the Beatles, right? The Beatles were the most famous and the richest people on the planet 50 years ago. And Prabhupada was preaching to them like anything, trying to make them Krishna conscious, because he knew that they're not happy without Krishna consciousness. You know, and then he made them Krishna conscious, at least George Harrison to some degree, and John Lennon also. Gave them properties, you know, which is there today, like the Bhaktivedanta Manor was donated by George Harrison, gave that. So definitely, you know, Prabhupada installed Krishna consciousness in them. But that's the conviction a devotee has to have, that, you know, if you're not Krishna conscious, you're not happy. And remember what I said, the devotee only wants other people to be happy. And therefore we have to try to help them become Krishna conscious. Okay, let's just read the verse for today. Not much more time left, but it's all right. 10:10. Taisam sadata yuktanam.
Taisam satata yuktanam.
Ajatam priti purvakam.
Ajatam priti purvakam.
Tadami buddhi yogam tam.
Tatami buddhi yogam tam.
Yena mam upayanti te.
Yena mam nupayanti te.
To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with a love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me, guarantee.
Yeah.
So we've talked about this before. This is the 2 criteria we need to have in order for Krishna to speak to you, in order for Krishna to give you the direct communication, give you the intelligence, the buddhi yoga. Then this is the criteria. Someone was asking about, or such and such said that God speaks to him. And Prabhupada brought up this verse and said, in order for God to speak to you, you have to have these 2 criteria. You're constantly serving God and with love, like that. Then he'll speak to you. So Prabhupada used this verse in that context, if you want God to speak to you. So just be careful if anyone says that, oh, God tells me what to do, or God's speaking to me, or whatever like that. But then you have to see whether they have this criteria. It's not just anyone, any Tom, Dick, and Harry, that God's going to speak to them. You might think, wow, last night, and I had this dream and everything, and God told me to blah, blah, blah. But other than God is in our heart, no doubt. We've got many verses about Paramatma, 13:22 and so forth, that Ishvara, and in 18th chapter, 1861, Ishvara is, what is it? Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridashi Arjuna Tistati. That is Krishna saying, I am dwelling in everyone's heart, and from me come memory and knowledge and forgetfulness. So he's in everyone's heart, no doubt about that. But what else is in the heart? Other than, there's the soul is in the heart, the Paramatma is in the heart, but what else is in the heart?
Mind.
The mind, and the intelligence. So we've got lots of things in the heart, you know. So how do you know that voice you heard, whether that was God or that was your mind, you know, like that? And I tell you what, if you're not constantly serving God with love, then 99.9% chance it was your mind, like that. So we have to be very careful And like it says in the 6th chapter, 6, I think 6, 7, the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And if it's not controlled, which of the two is it?
Worst enemy.
Enemy, yeah.
Worst enemy.
If you control the mind, it's your best friend. And if it's not controlled, it's your worst enemy. And one of my favorite verses, I think it's 6:8. Around that area. 6, 7.
That person is 7 or 8?
No. Yeah, 7.
6, 7?
Yep.
For one who has conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for he has attained tranquility. To
Tranquility.
such a man, tranquility. To such a man, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same.
So then once you do control the mind, then you are connected with the super soul. Then God is going to speak to you. But first of all, have to control the mind.
Yeah, I feel very cold, so I didn't control the mind.
I know, because this is the symptom that means you're free from dualities. So that's how you know whether you control your mind. There's no more dualities. Dualities means heat and cold, honor and dishonor, all this kind of stuff.
Maybe I go to the Mount Everest, sit in the middle of the snow, and just do the meditation.
No.
Doesn't matter whatever happens. Krishna, 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 Radhe, Radhe.
Keep chanting
Radhe,
Hare
Radhe,
Krishna in
Radhe.
Newcastle. Yeah.
Now I'm going to go to the Asian country and chanting over there. I've got the temple, ISKCON temple in Bali, ISKCON temple in Bangkok, then ISKCON temple in India, and ISKCON temple in Sri Lanka. So I'm going to go all the Asian country, all the ISKCON temples in, because it's winter coming here. So I'm going to go all the ISKCON temples in Asian countries.
ISKCON temple in Penang, Malaysia.
Malaysia, Indonesia, yes, I know, yes, I'm going to go all there.
Tranquility in this verse, though, the word tranquility, it's such a beautiful word, and you just couldn't imagine feeling that all the time. It would be a wonderful state to be in, to not feel hot and cold, happiness or distress or honor or dishonor. Like, it'd be amazing you'd feel like you're floating all the time
because all those dualities are in the mind.
Yeah.
All those dualities, happiness and distress, everything, heat and cold, it's all in the mind. That's all it is. So once you control the mind, you're free from that, because that's where it's all is. All that good and bad, black and white, it's all in the mind. So friends and enemies, and it's all in the mind.
But
I wish all these crazy people that are fighting could realize that, because that's why we think these are my friends and these are my enemies. I want to kill them. That's all in the mind. Like Prahlad Maharaj couldn't relate to it, because Hiranyakashipu's teachers, and the teachers he gave to educate Prahlad, they were teaching him all this politics stuff. These are your friends and enemies. And Prahlad said to his teachers, I can't relate to this kind of teaching. I see everyone as the same. We're all Krishna's children.
Heat and cold, we feel it though in the body. How? It's hard. The others I can understand in the mind, but
no, the body doesn't feel it. No, the body doesn't feel it. The mind. It's in the mind.
We are Asian feel more cold. They're Westerners, Deepa. Don't worry, they don't feel cold.
It's not in the body though. The body doesn't feel anything. It's in the mind. The body is dead matter. The body's dead matter. So the feeling is in the mind.
What about when you're sitting there and it's so humid and you're just sweating? The body's feeling it then, though. Like,
no,
the
sweat is coming from the sweat is coming from the body, but then you're thinking about that sweat, and then the feeling is coming. What is the functions of the mind? Thinking, feeling, and willing. So feeling is in the mind. First of all, you think. You think, sweat is pouring off my head, and then you have the feeling there, this is all sticky and gooey and everything, and like that, awful or whatever, and then like that. So, and then willing, this is terrible, and you turn the fan on, or your AC. You know, so it's all in the mind. Everything's in the mind, you know. You know, if your mind was absorbed in, you know, some beautiful kirtan in Vrindavan or something like that, or you're going to Mangalarti, like Gulshan was saying, you're not even going to feel anything. You're not even going to feel that. You're not even going to, in the thought, you're not even going to think about the sweat coming off your body, let alone feel that it's unpleasant or whatever. You know, it's all in the mind, you know, but if you can just take the mind off that body and take it to Krishna, then you're out of there. You're out of there. So this is the process that Prabhupada taught. You know, the process Prabhupada taught. When we were brahmacharis, it was amazing. We were so absorbed in just going out preaching. We would jump in the middle of winter in some freezing cold lake or river in New Zealand before even the sun rises.
Yeah, that was 30 years ago when you was young.
Oh, I jump in the stream here, even in winter.
You're Westerner. You can do anything.
No, don't just say East. Westerner. It doesn't mean anything.
Eternally young, Gulshan. Eternally young. That's the thing.
Eternally young. I feel eternally. I feel like I'm 18.
No, it's just all about training the mind. You know, it's about retraining the mind.
Actually, that's true, because you can, like, if I want to take, if I decide I have to do a cold shower, like nowadays it's starting to get colder, right? So I don't want to do a cold shower.
Yeah,
but I actually tell my mind, no, you have to do a cold shower.
So recently she started just doing cold showers.
I do one day cold shower Wednesday, because they clean the pool and they turn the hot water off. So every Wednesday I had a cold shower on the beach. You know, that's where I shower. And I just, like, you know, I was telling the council people, you bloody idiot Westerner, you don't understand what the cold is, and in my own language, not in English, otherwise I'll be get prosecuted. And then go to under that shower, and then just that shower is a quick as maybe less than 1 minute, and quickly come out and with my towel and all. With the hot shower, I spend 3-4 minutes, but the cold one, 1 minute is good enough. That's the truth, you know. It just it doesn't matter.
But it's just a practice to control the mind. And actually, every yoga system, Prabhupada mentions, the purpose of every yoga system is to learn how to control the mind. Whether it's karma yoga, jnana yoga, stanga yoga, bhakti yoga, it's all about control the mind. And as soon as you control the mind, immediately you connect with God. The only thing that's in between us and God is our mind. That's all. Because our mind is just attracted to sense gratification. So the mind is absorbed externally through the senses. So the mind contacts the material world through the eyes and the nose and the tongue and the ears and the touch and everything. So we're just so externally engrossed in the material world. So through the yoga process, you learn to withdraw the mind from the...
You're talking about the mind. Yesterday, when I see the prasadam, my mind was saying, don't laugh, Deepa, go hard. And I did. I did not have a lunch because I knew that it's got to be paneer sabji and mamma mia. I just attack. And then the gentleman says that, Prabhuji, how was the food? When I go, hey, don't insult food. It's a prasadam. There's a difference between food and prasadam. Do you know that? He said, oh, yes, prasadam. Just put more in my plate.
Yeah, so there's a difference if it's prasadam. Then that's not an ordinary sense object. That's Krishna. You know, so actually I mean, it seems like we're you know, victimized by our lusty tongue or whatever. But the point is our lusty tongue is attracted to Krishna. So that's a credit.
You know,
then we get a credit that you're attracted to
too
Krishna.
much.
What's that?
Yeah, no, attracted to Krishna. I couldn't sleep because if you had too much prasad at night time, you can't straight to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but still it's drawing us in towards Krishna.
Yeah, but like people like me.
And then if your belly, the benefit of if your belly is full of prasadam, then there's no space for bhoga, no space for the unoffered food. You know, so there's still benefits of having a belly full of prasadam, but ultimately, you know, the devotee doesn't need to, you know, fill up so much, except for special occasions.
I don't get that
one time it is
special occasion comes.
Just
Deepa
finish off with this
more, so I ate more.
one little beautiful story that there was Raghunath Das Goswami, who was one of the 6 Goswamis, followers of Lord Chaitanya, he was so austere and so absorbed in hearing and chanting, he hardly ate everything. Every second day he might have a handful of chickpeas or some buttermilk or something, hardly eating. And then one day he told some devotees wanted to give him some food or whatever, and he said, I can't eat anything. I've overeaten. I've got indigestion. And they all said, come on, Raghunath, how can you have indigestion? You hardly eat anything. How are you going to get indigestion comes from eating too much? He said, no. Last night I went to the spiritual world and with Radha and Krishna had a big feast with the devotees, and I ate so much. And then his physical body was filled up, even though in the spiritual world he had eaten, but that had affected his body, had indigestion. So yeah, with prasadam it's no problem because it actually is spiritual food. Don't have to worry about that. There's never any problem. And even if you do overeat prasadam and you die of a heart attack or whatever, you'll go back to Godhead. So what are you worried about?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but that's why.
One time there was some controversy about, halava is not good. The devotees, the brahmacharis are eating, a big plate of halava every morning or whatever like that, and this is not good for the health, people were saying. And Tamal Krishna said, we will die eating prasadam. And Prabhupada said, Jai. So don't worry about it too much. But automatically, once you get closer to Krishna, like in this verse, Krishna will give you the understanding. He'll give you the intelligence. And you'll feel, actually, I don't need to eat so much anymore. Now I don't need to eat so much. So that automatically will come. Krishna will guide from within like that. You don't need to artificially.
I haven't reached to that stage yet. I haven't reached to the stage yet.
That's okay.
Until
keep eating prasadam. It'll come.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah. Anyway, we better not take too much of your time. Does anyone want to say anything? Anyone has any questions about what we've spoken about, or? And just one final thing. So Krishna's gonna, once you always serving Krishna and with love, then he's going to give you the intelligence from within. What kind of intelligence? What is that? How to make a nice house? He's going to give you the intelligence, how you can make more money. No, it's intelligence how to come to him. That is the, intelligence Krishna gives the devotee, how to go back to Godhead. How to walk away from this materialistic life, how to turn our back out on this material world, and how we can, become attracted to going back to Godhead, going to be with Krishna. So that is the understanding. Not he's going to give us intelligence, how to make better bridges, how to make better tunnels, how to become rich and famous, like that. But, how to get out of this material world. That's the intelligence we really need, is how to get out of here. Like this world is compared to a prison. When you're in a prison, should be the main focus of your intelligence?
How to get out.
How to get out.
I'm
going to decorate my cell. I want to make my cell look better.
That's why.
I'm going to put some nice ribbon over the window and make a nice curtain like that. And I'm going to put some flowers on the bars and everything like that. And no, how to get out. So that intelligence Krishna gives the devotee, and that's very special. And no one else gets that. Everyone else's intelligence is focused on how I can enjoy here, how I can live happily ever after, although that's impossible. Like they're all thinking about that. That's how their intelligence is working. How to counteract the problems. Like here in New Zealand, we had massive flooding. It's like in the record up in the north here, massive flooding. And everyone's thinking how we can fix up after the flood, make it better.
Because
and everything.
You make it an Indra a bit uncomfortable. That's why. The Indra is the one, you're not happy with the New Zealand. You've done something wrong with the Indra.
Indra is rain. It's
he's in control of rain. Yeah.
Varun.
He's thrashing the
Varun?
Kiwis. No, Indra.
No,
Varuna
Indra,
the sea. Varuna the sea.
The water.
Indra the rain.
You insulting the Indra or something. That's why now we have to pray to Krishna. He's gonna bring that to the Govardhan.
Now, for the amount
New
of cows
Zealand.
that are killed in New Zealand, it's amazing we're still above the water. You know, we should have sunk a long time ago.
Oh my God.
Prabhupada said 50 years ago, New Zealand is a very nice place, except for one thing. You kill cows. It's a big cow
Everywhere,
killing.
in Australia as well, America, everywhere kills the
Yeah.
cows.
I know, and we're all suffering in different ways, you know, whether
Mm.
it's war or actually all these things, Prabhupada said, are a reaction to animal killing. Wars,
Oh, yeah.
natural disasters, famine, you know, all these kind of car accidents, everything is a reaction to animal slaughter. Therefore, the first thing we avoid is no animal killing like that. It's very, especially cows. Especially, even if someone, Prabhupada said, if someone's a meat eater, they can eat less important animals, like he said, goats and chickens and so forth, but never eat cows. That is so sinful. So yeah, I'm amazed that New Zealand hasn't already sunk under the ocean.
Abhay Prabhu, you
so
need
sinful.
to
You know
get,
why? Because Abhay Prabhu is there. That's why.
but he
If the
needs to
Bhakta
get
is there.
one. He needs to stand on the platform and start speaking these things and get people to vote him in and stop all these killings. So animal killing all around that. Yeah. And change.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
of,
practicing my Kshatriya skills for that day. Practicing my Kshatriya skills.
It's interesting. We were just yesterday, Bhaktimala and me and others were talking. We were in the book, the reading club, reading group. We were talking about Mahamaya and Yoga Maya and all that. It was interesting how it came up today now. Yeah.
I mean, these scriptures, I tell you, they're alive. They're conscious.
Yeah.
Like there'll be one thing we're talking about, and on that we have a Prabhupada calendar or whatever like that, and the exact same thing will be there. Or whatever you're thinking about, what you want to learn about, you open up a book just randomly, like a 1,000-page book,
come up,
and it's exactly what on that page. These are living, conscious. These are not dead books. These books are more conscious than we are. We think we're conscious and the book is dead, but actually the book is alive and we're dead. It's like that. We're so unconscious. And yeah, it's amazing. So we're so blessed by Prabhupada to give us access to so much. We have the greatest wealth, you know, at the tip of our fingertips, with the holy name and these books and prasadam, devotees
and the devotee like you as well. Thank you.
We're trying to. Servant of the servant.
Of course.
Servant of the servant.
Yeah.
We're so lucky.
Yeah.
We should always feel very grateful and privileged, you know, and fortunate. And then we should spread that fortune to others. We shouldn't let the fortune stop with us.
You know, the soul searching class was happening that in Bhakti Tree when you was there back in 2015, 16, 18, 19. Now the internet happened that, and then now we have through the WhatsApp and through that. So in future, it's going to be through the AI?
Oh no.
No, this is all going to collapse. It's all going to collapse. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know, no one would believe that we can fly. The aeroplane goes that 100 years ago. Nobody believed that, or nobody believed you can talk someone overseas, like we are talking on the phone. Nobody believed it happening, isn't it? Nobody believed that.
Well, I mean, it's just the materialists are imitating what was already done before. I mean, how did Lord Ram get back to Ayodhya from South India?
He flew.
You know, it's a Garuda.
No, in a Puspa Viman, in a plane made of flowers.
Yeah.
And a plane made of flowers. And he carried the whole monkey army with him. You know, we can't do that in a 747.
Yeah.
I'd like a plane made with flowers.
I know, it's so much better. And now we can't afford the petrol to fly the plane anyway. So
that's what
they
I've
didn't
been
even have
thinking.
petrol.
True.
And you know, they had weapons that we have no idea about, and so many things. Technology is amazing. And you talked about, you know, communicating on the other side of the world. You know, even the Bhagavad Gita, right? There's Sanjaya here talking to Dhritarashtra. Now, Sanjaya, he's like, you know, Gulshan, you know, how far is Delhi from Kurukshetra?
Around 300 kilometers.
Yeah. So Sanjaya could see everything on the battle, etc., the conversation for 300 kilometers away, and he was telling that conversation exactly
like a live
what
telecast.
Live telecast, exactly what Krishna and Arjuna were speaking. He was relating it, like you were saying we should have in the class. What did you call that? If Deepa was saying we should have subtitles, yes. So he was giving the subtitles for three, and that was 5,000 years ago before computers. But he was just, by the mercy, his guru was Vyasadeva, and by Vyasadev's mercy, his disciple Sanjay could hear and see everything. He had a TV in his heart, you know, by the mercy of his spiritual master.
You can see you're sitting like 2,000 miles away. We can hear from you clearly. See.
So we are imitating that with technology, but it's not like it's a new thing. This is just
we can see you, we can hear you.
Ways, yeah.
Class, how good is that? It's all
So no, I mean it's useful technology, but they're also using this technology to kill thousands of people.
There's a good and bad for everything, you know. It's definitely.
Now they just have a drone with a camera on it and just drive it into a school and kill 160 kids.
That's why I say that in future 10 years it'll be class with the AI class for the Bhagavad Gita.
No, Krishna's going to destroy all this, you know. The golden age is going to begin before 10 years from now. You just got to try to survive the interim period.
10 years from now?
Yep. Within 10 years from now, yep.
Wow.
Deepa,
I'll tell you what, I'll finish off with one very exciting statement. One highly realized Vrajvasi from Vrindavan, Babaji, said that after this difficult transition period, there'll probably only be about 800 million people left on the planet like that, according to his prediction, before when the golden age starts. So do you want to be one of the 800 million, or do you want to be one of the, 6 point something billion that disappeared? You know, and it's not
up to us, it's up to Krishna. He'll decide. He's the decider.
Yeah, but we have to put in our interest what we want to, which category we want to be in. So
depends how bad it gets. How bad it gets. If it gets really bad, I'll probably think of
come over here. Come over to Krishna Sanctuary.
Okay, it's a plan.
If it's
swept
bad,
away from the flood in New Zealand.
If the ones who
we're on a hillside. It's okay.
If the ones who are not going to make it are going straight, one-way ticket straight there, then it's okay. But otherwise, I want to stay.
Yeah, I mean, devotees, like I said, devotees don't have to worry because, you know, whenever, however we die, we'll go back to Godhead, or at least we'll get a better birth, like I said. So not to worry about that.
We are in the win-win situation.
I hope
but
so.
I would like to stick around for the golden age so I can preach better, so I can do more preaching, because then there'll be people lining up for the classes. It won't be 4 people in the soul searching session. It'll be 40,000.
Like we are the 40,000, you see.
Each one of you is worth 10,000. Yes, very precious, very special.
But there will be Uber will be still there 10 years time, or not Uber?
There'll be horses, cows to ride on.
Yeah, it'll be driverless Uber. Actually, they started in LA, driverless Uber.
Anyway, it's been lovely to be with you all.
Thank you.
Okay, you take care.
Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.